Welcome to Chasing North, a podcast for purpose-driven professionals, entrepreneurs, and changemakers who know that real success isn't just about status, it's about alignment. I'm your host, Christin Mack, business leader, lifelong learner, and someone who believes that the most powerful journeys are often the most personal. Here, we dive into real conversations with real people, exploring personal growth, leadership, conscious business, and the deeper motivations behind impactful success. Let's get curious together, because every path holds power and your worth is not up for debate. Hi, thank you for joining us for another episode of Chasing North. I'm your host, Christin Mack, and today I have the opportunity to visit and talk with one of my favorite people in the planet, God. But also he is a mortgage broker, which is kind of fun. So we're going to talk today and have some fun. So Brian.
Does being a mortgage broker make me one of your favorite people, or is it just me? Because mortgage brokering is awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What's awesome about it?
Absolutely nothing. No, I was totally just making this up. So let's move past that.
Okay, perfect. So mortgage brokering is kind of awesome. Not really awesome.
I've been doing it for 32 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time to do one thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else to do, so I'll just keep doing it.
Well, according to your website, you run.
I ran. I'm older now.
We should change it to past tense on the website, maybe?
Running's great when you're young.
Uh-huh.
And then when you get older and you realize, running's kind of a good way to deteriorate parts of your body, and
everything hurts.
And I wish I wouldn't have done it. Yeah, then it's too late, so you just stop. Now I walk.
But you walk a lot.
I do walk a lot.
Yeah, so your fitness has always been a priority, which I think is great. You figure it out.
For one very clear reason.
What's that?
Someone told me that when you feel good, everything else is better. And I felt that way. You probably can tell I'm kind of congested. So I had a little congestion going on. I'm not sick, don't worry. And I hurt my back, and all these little ailments are hitting me. And I realized that I felt like just, sorry for myself. And that's not a really good way to approach the day, for clients and business.
Well, I mean, when you have to go and be charming.
Right.
And sell.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I really try if I'm feeling good, everything else is better. So I aim for that, which is why I walk and try to work out and eat really, really well and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sleeping's kind of my next thing. I got to try and learn how to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I've heard that you need to sleep, and it's good for your overall health, and I never really considered that. So, like I said, paying attention to things now.
Yeah.
Not getting any younger.
So learning to sleep, where do you go to a class or
no?
Read a book?
Yeah, you read the book, the sleeping book.
No one ever told me how to do this. I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
So first thing I learned was, what time do you go to bed? If you don't know the answer, then you should get an answer. Like, okay, I'm going to go to bed at X, right? 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. Because if you have a plan, it's much easier to kind of move forward. And so I've adopted that. That's the first thing, going to bed, having a bedtime. Aww, at 57.
I love it. I love that for you.
And getting up at the same time every day. So just creating more structure with the sleep. And on the flip side, my wife, who I love dearly, will stay up much later and wake up much later. And I got to do it my way. So,
sure.
Things like that.
So you've been married how long?
32 years.
Yeah.
Same as the mortgage brokering. In fact.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
Oh.
I got married and got into the mortgage business during the same month. It was like, just mix it all up, start everything new now.
So long honeymoon.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Prior to the mortgage brokering journey, what did you do?
All right. So prior to that, I worked in real estate for 2.5 years. And I worked for a guy by the name of Dave Messner, mogul in the Valley of the Sun.
Yes.
He's older than I am. And I worked with him, learned that the real estate business was not at all for me. It was too, what's the opposite word of structured? It was too
Unstructured?
Yes.
Yeah, we figured it out at the same time. We are awesome.
I would watch all these realtors just kind of go out there and figure it out and try and find business, and it just freaked me out. Like I didn't feel comfortable not really knowing what lied ahead. So after a couple of years of that, I decided I got to really find something that's a better fit. So that left either mortgage or title. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I like money, so I'm going to go where the money is in mortgages. Not that you make a lot, but yeah, that's where the money's at. So that's what I did before real estate, or before mortgages, real estate. And
did you go straight to starting your own company?
No, that would be impossible because you got to learn the business.
Right.
So I learned the business. It took 7 years of working for a couple of different companies, and then I met my business partner, Joe. And Joe and I were kind of at the same point in our careers, both looking to kind of, answer that question of, could I do this better? Like you look at your boss and you think, why do they do it that way? Why don't they do it this way? And we just got to a point in our lives where we thought, well, we could probably do this better. And so we did. We started it, and we just tried to do it better than the way that the other people were doing it.
And did you and Joe work at the same place?
No. We met through one of those. Do you remember those?
BNI?
No, not BNI. Very close. Do you remember who Joe Stump is?
Yeah.
What was it called? By referral only?
Yeah.
I think we met at one of those conferences, learn how to build your business and all that.
Uh-huh.
And we met there. And I'm like, I am so ready to do my own thing. And Joe was like, well, I'm not.
Oh.
And it was kind of like a hard stop. And so I said, all right, well, let me know if you change your mind. And I went back to work and thought, well, what do I really want to do this on my own? I don't know. I'm kind of afraid. And so 6 months later, he called me and he's like, I'm so ready I could taste it. He was done working for who he was.
What does it taste like?
It tastes awesome.
Yeah.
So then we dove in, and what you don't know, you learn, and you just try and treat people well and be nice to people and return phone calls and all those fundamentals, and eventually you might get a piece of business, and then you try and turn that into 2 and 3, and so it's been very much a one relationship at a time type of business. Mm-hmm. I feel really lucky that most of the people I work with, like you included, I've become friends with, and I enjoy working with people who I'm friends with. So I feel like I work with just a bunch of my buddies.
Is that always been your sort of way of approaching that, or has that evolved over time?
It's pretty much always been that way.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because the other ways, and there's a lot of ways to do business. Mm-hmm. You can buy leads, you can cold call, you can do all those sales things that I'm not really comfortable doing.
Okay.
Because I don't respond to it well, so I feel like it would be a little insincere for me to be on the other side of it.
Does anyone love getting solicitation phone calls? I don't think so.
I haven't met.
Maybe they do.
I haven't met anyone, but no. So I had to find my own style, and I think my style takes more time to build, but it lasts longer. Mm-hmm. So if I have a transaction with a client, or rather with a realtor who I'm friends with, if something goes sideways, which something always goes sideways, they're not going to look at me like, oh my God, you're the worst in the world, I'm never using you again. They're going to treat me like a friend and say, all right, what happened? Help me understand it. And then we both together figure out how to solve the problem.
Right.
And so that's what I mean when I say it lasts longer. It's not like you have to convince people to send you business. If you form good relationships, then people will want to work with you. Yeah. Case in point.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, long time.
How many people? Oh, 4. Yeah,
sorry.
We're going to change that answer.
I was a little excited.
How many people would you say, I know you know this answer, are currently in your sphere, database, network, whatever you want to call it, that you are systematically staying in touch with, having conversations with, reaching out to?
How many people am I working to nurture relationships?
Yes.
Oof, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, honestly, I'm going to say 20.
20.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was going to say 40, but I don't.
Oh, there's 40 in there, but only 20 get the nurturing?
20 people, sometimes 15, definitely 12, right around 10 people.
And it's a lot. And you have systems and processes in place to make sure that you're doing that, which I think is really interesting that you're now implementing that into your sleep schedule.
Well, I think one of the challenges I don't know if this is specific to my business, probably isn't, but you have different levels of relationship. So I might have a handful of realtors who we're friends, we work together all the time. I shouldn't take those for granted because, out of sight, out of mind. So I should be calling them. But then you have clients who, I'm going to be working with for the next 30 to 60 days. And so there's a lot more of an immediacy of I need to call them and tell them about this and this and this. And then there's all the other people who it's they're great. I want to be everything to everyone, but you can't. Mm-hmm. So the challenge is to try and manage all of it to a certain degree. So I manage the really good relationships by calling as much as I can. And if I get to a point where I haven't talked to someone in a month or two, I get on the phone. But it's not like it's a every other week phone call. I'm not that consistent.
Right.
So, I think you just do your best. And honestly, if I'm on the other side of it and people are calling me for business, I don't need to hear from them all the time. Mm-hmm. Once in a while is fine. I'm not going to forget who they are if we're friends.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all very familiar, like the relationship between me and a title person or me and a realtor or any iteration of that.
There better be no other title people in your life.
Other
Brian.
people have title people. I'm talking about everybody. But it's all the same thing. And I was having a conversation with a realtor the other day, and they said, it was a good conversation. And she said, when I asked her, who she'd been sending her business to, and she said, well, this person, blah, 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 blah. And I said, that's totally fine. I said, I have the same thing on my end of the business. I have lenders who are asking me to broker deals to them. Yeah. I'm not going to just send them to one lender. I want to have 2 or 3 or 4 different options. Sure. And so I encouraged her to do the same. Don't just use one lender. Have a couple. Have, whether it's 2 or 3, I prefer 2. But spread it around, because when that other person either is out of the country or sick or out of the business or what have you, it's nice to be able to have another relationship to kind of lean into instead of saying, oh my God, where do I go now? Right. And in this market, there's a lot of unknowns. Who's going to be in the business next year or next month? Yeah. Not everybody. Correct. And I heard a stat last week. Oh. I'll tell it to you. Last year, there were 100,000 loan officers in the U.S. This year, now-ish, there's 95,000. And by the fourth quarter of this year, they expect that number to be at 65,000. So there's a pretty... max exodus. Yes, exactly. So, if you're a realtor and you're working with you have all your eggs in one basket, it may not be the smartest approach, given that, it's a pretty risky market. Yeah. You hope they're in the right basket. Yeah, my basket. One of the baskets that's going to stay, which is Brian's basket. Mm-hmm. I don't want to know about your basket. So, your son works with you. Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah. Yep, he's the middle. And how long has Jeremy been a member of Team Yampolsky? Jeremy came on board about, 4.5 years? Yeah, 4.5 years ago. He graduated in that wonderful year of 2020 and found very little opportunities out there because everything was kind of shutting down. Mm-hmm. And it was in that time that our business was booming, because when COVID happened, we were essential. Not only that, rates went through the floor down to that 2 and 3% range. So we just blew up, and we thought the opposite would happen. We thought we're going to go out of business, sky's falling. And the opposite happened. So I was talking to Jeremy, and I'm like, all right, you can't really find anything you want to do, and I can't find enough hours in the day to do what I do. Why don't you help me out for a while and just see where it goes? Mm-hmm. And so he did. And after a while, he thought, okay, maybe this could work. And then I'm like, all right, well, work with me. And after a longer while, he got licensed, and now he's actually fully producing his own business, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a ton of knowledge.
Thank you.
And being able to carry that on to your son, what does that feel like?
I feel like I have more patience than I knew.
Would he agree with you?
I don't, I mean, you're hearing me the wrong way, I think. Because like if Joe Schmo was some loan officer who was working for me.
Sure.
If they asked me, 4 or 5 questions in a given hour, and I'm really busy, and I don't have time to just answer all those questions, I might get irritated or, regret all these questions. Mm-hmm. But when it's your son, mm-hmm. there's no regret. Like, I have all the time for him.
Yeah.
And I think that's, for me, it's a really nice place to be at. Mm-hmm. Also, like when I go on vacation, he'll cover me. And if I get business coming in, instead of thinking, oh, I missed out on that business, I missed out on making that money, he's making it. And I'm totally happy for him. So it's a nicer dynamic. Like if I could create it, I would create it to just hire my children if they would want to work with me. And so far, Jeremy's the only one.
Well, yeah, I don't.
The other 2 are smarter.
Yeah.
No,
we're not going to say kids are smarter than the others. Let's not do that. But I think the timing, right, aligned, and that was a good solution, and it's worked out really well.
Yeah.
So since Jeremy has joined you,
mm-hmm.
you guys have started doing some really fun stuff lately with your video content
mm-hmm.
and that stuff. Is that Jeremy? Is that both of you? Like, who's driving that adjustment in your business model?
I'd say we make a good team. He has more of a creative outlet. He's all 3 of my kids grew up in the theater.
Right. So
they're crazy. They're talented. They're not afraid to get up in front of a camera or an audience. And they know how to, I don't know if this is the right word, but perform.
Yeah.
They know how to behave in front of people. So, you turn a camera on and Jeremy's totally at home there. So he's got the ideas. I have the knowledge, like I can say, hey, let's talk about this or that. And now after 4 years, he's got the knowledge too. So he's kind of bypassing me a little bit.
It only takes 4 years to have all the knowledge?
4.5. And then you've got it all.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Keep at it. But yeah, we really totally make a good team. There's a lot of similarities with him and I. We kind of, that old cliche of, you can finish each other's sentences. We have similar senses of humor. So it's a good mix.
Yeah.
And I think you can have that with anyone that you're close with, but it's innate with, someone in your family.
Yeah.
You just know who they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I credit him for more than half of what we're doing. And then our video guy, Jesse, shout out to Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse's pretty great.
He's great. He's
very funny.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know Jesse?
Well, you brought him into the
Oh, that's
mastermind.
right. You know Jesse. Yeah, he's fantastic. Sorry.
Yeah. So I want to talk about 2 sort of fun things. Mm-hmm. So talk about Faceball.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So what is Faceball?
Baseball is what you do when you're in the mortgage business, and it's slow. So Jeremy comes into my office. We have one of those little stress balls, mm-hmm. and I'll stay in my chair because I'm older, and he'll stand across the office, and we'll throw the ball at each other's faces, and if the ball hits anywhere, not hits, but you catch it, but if it's going to hit anywhere in your face, that's 1 point.
Okay.
But if it's going to hit any part of your nose, bigger target. It's 2 points.
Okay.
So it's kind of baseball, football. It's Faceball.
Faceball.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And that's what you do when you're, need a break and want to let off some steam.
Yeah.
You play Faceball. Play to 10, and that's our trademark.
And what does the winner get?
Nothing.
Oh.
Bragging rights.
Love it.
Yeah.
You should get a little trophy or like a medal or a ribbon or something.
Idea. Maybe now I'm going to get on ChatGPT
with a big face on it
and a ball.
And
a baseball.
I don't know. Anyway, we can work on that outside of this.
Thank God.
Okay, and then Tasty P.
Yes.
What's Tasty P?
Tasty P sounds a lot worse than it is. Thanks for bringing it up. I'm not uncomfortable with it. TASTP is an acronym. There is a solution to every problem. And that's one of those things that there's two things that stuck with me. There's a solution to every problem, which is true. I've tested it, every week, and there's always a solution to every problem. So TASTP is the acronym for that. And then the other thing that I can't forget, because I get reminded of it recently, you can't want it more than they do. So I had a client last week, and I hate it when people talk about their clients, but I had a client last week who, after canceling her contract and then saying, okay, I'm not canceling, and then canceling again, and then, no, okay, I'll and then the third time she canceled, and I'm like, okay, clearly she's not comfortable. She should cancel. And I just reminded myself, I can't want it more than she wants it. She's the client. It's about her and what she wants. So, it was the right thing to do, and just kind of say, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come back next year. Try again when you're ready.
Try again.
When you're ready.
Right, which who knows what that is right now.
Yeah.
So you and I have done several masterminds together. We've done just brainstorming, things like that. And I know several of your influences, but you, from my perspective, have always been someone that is learning, growing. I don't want to say self-improvement, but you have a curiosity to learn a better way. And who are some of those people, authors, speakers, coaches that have really influenced where you're at and what you're doing today?
Wow, that's a good question.
Thanks.
I wasn't prepared for that at all. My influences, well, I guess it's probably a result of influences, but also I think my own makeup, my own insecurity is that I just am not comfortable not knowing what I'm doing, So whether it's learning how to sleep better or take better care of myself or run my business better or whatever it is I'm working on, I really have a desire to want to know what I'm doing. I don't want to wing it. I don't feel comfortable winging it. So maybe I try a little bit harder to learn what I'm doing before I do it. And it's probably a more cautious approach. But that's just who I am. It's what I'm comfortable with. And one of the things I learned about, I'm in the Buffini coaching program, and they have this, what do they call it? It used to be called the Heritage Profile. And it kind of profiles who you are and how you are. And that saying, ready, aim, fire, or ready, fire, aim.
Yes.
I'm kind of a merge between the two. So I want to fire right away. I want to do whatever it is we're talking about doing, as long as I don't look like an idiot when I do it.
Sure.
So, if I can pull it off, then let's do it now. And Joe, my business partner, has always been very much the ready, aim, recalibrate, aim again, do it 6 months later, fire. So he's slow to implement. I'm quick to implement. And that was one of the things that kind of worked well, is I would pull him to act faster, and he would slow me down. And, let's think this through a little bit before we look stupid. So it was a really good kind of partnership there. Yeah. For 26 years.
And still going?
Still going.
Oh, the way you said that, I was like, did Joe leave?
Well, we kind of run in our own directions now.
Sure.
We used to kind of build our businesses together, but when I hired Jeremy, then it became the Yampolsky team, and then Joe hired Carrie, and so he's kind of got his team. So we're kind of running our own teams under the same roof.
Got it.
Yeah.
Are the rumors true that Orion is a combination of your names?
Yes.
Was that actually thought out and planned?
Very
or was that
regrettable.
Just something that...
Very stupid. Very, very bad name choice. So originally, Joe and I were like, okay, we got to come up with a name. So we went through all those names.
Like a baby name book back then? What was out there?
For mortgage brokers.
Was there internet?
No.
Yeah.
Or if there was, we didn't have it.
Sure.
But the first name was Arizona Funding Corp. Sounded
Boring.
but really strong.
Oh, yes.
And so we were like, okay, we'll do that. And back then you need to get approval from the Arizona Corporation Commission and the State Banking Department.
Sure.
And one of them said, yep, no problem. That name works. And we're like, great. And then 2 weeks before we're ready to like open for business, the other entity said, sorry, that one's too boring. You know, it sounds like everyone else's. So Joe's boss at the time, Mark, said, well, you're Joe and you're Brian. How about Orion Mortgage? And we're like, that is the stupidest name. We're never going to name it.
We're
Orion
totally going
Mortgage.
to put that on everything.
And now the regret is people laugh at me when I call. Like, you know, I'll call your office and say, is Christin there? And they're like, yeah, can I ask who's calling? It's Brian from Orion. That's funny. It rhymes. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it does rhyme. I never put that together. You do these great client appreciation events, and I was at one of them, and that was discussed. And I'm like, how did I miss that all this time?
Yeah.
I had no idea. So I just wanted to confirm if that was just something you came up with.
That's the
silliness,
story.
or-
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. The name's just the name.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Where can people find you? Closing remarks, things people need to know, maybe what you shared on Facebook, Instagram yesterday, whatever you want to leave with, where people can reach out to you if they need your help, services, or just something you'd like to give the universe.
You know what? You know what I want to talk about?
What?
That you didn't ask me about? The giving group.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we have enough time.
You can do it.
I can?
Yeah.
Okay. So I grew up.
And I totally meant to talk to you about it, but it just...
The reason I want to talk about it is it's like the thing I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
But I grew up in a household where we never talked about or did anything that would even be remotely related to philanthropy. You know, like we didn't donate, we didn't do anything. We were very like selfish. We just looked at ourselves, and that was fine. That's how I grew up. I didn't know anything different. And then maybe in my 40s, a friend of mine in Seattle had been doing this giving group, and I just kind of noticed it, and I thought, oh, I wonder what that's about. You know, I don't really care because I'm selfish. I'm just thinking about myself. And so just to make conversation, I said, how's that giving group going? And she said, it's great, but we're really not worried about our giving group as much as now we're trying to open up different like chapters around the country. And it kind of made me think, wow, that's not what I expected to hear. So they must be doing something that's working, and I wonder what it's like. So when she said other chapters, I thought, okay, well, maybe I could do the Phoenix one. So long story short, we gathered a group of 100 friends, colleagues, agents, all kinds of people that I know, and we formed a group called the Giving Group. And we get together every 90 days. And each member donates $100. And when you have 100 people donating $100, you have $10,000.
Wait.
Use your
The maths. Yep.
Good.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So from there, I am a mortgage broker. I know math.
That's true.
From there, we randomly select 4 of the members in the group to nominate their favorite nonprofits. As long as they're a local nonprofit, they qualify. So we have 4 nonprofits that speak for like 4 minutes each, and they basically say, hey, this is what we're about. This is how we serve the community. This is what we would do with the $10,000 if you vote for us. And so we do that process. We hear from 4 nonprofits, and then we vote, and we pick one of the nonprofits to receive a $10,000 check, and we do it every 90 days. And if you know anything about nonprofits, they all are broke and like hanging on by a thread. So a $10,000 check is it makes a huge impact on the nonprofit and the people that they're trying to help. And, you know, there's so many amazing groups out there that it's awesome to hear about what they're doing. I mean, they're helping people that are, you know, have cancer and adoption and homelessness and all kinds of bad stuff.
Yeah.
So the Giving Group is something that I really enjoy, and I want to grow the group. So if, you know, someone hears this and they're like, ooh, I'd like to check it out, then they should just call me.
Yeah.
Or email me or do something.
And we'll keep all your contact info. We'll
Yeah.
put it in the comments and connect it to the video. But
Yeah.
I've been a member since the beginning.
Yeah, you have.
And I've seen it grow. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I love it.
And going to be joining the board.
I know.
I'm excited.
The
I'm a
board
member.
Yay.
It's been a life dream fulfilled.
Before we're done, can I
Yeah.
congratulate you on starting your own business?
Sure.
Congratulations on starting your own business.
Thank you so much.
You were very overdue for that.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's, you know, starting your own business isn't easy. And I'm just really grateful that I get to do it with the women that I do because they're amazing.
I think of all the title people I know, like you're the most qualified person to open up a title company. So you should. You did. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. And with that, we're going to end today's episode of Chasing North. I'm Christin Mack, your host. Tune in next time. And if you liked something, share it. Let me know what it was. And if you'd like to be a future guest, reach out to me and let me know. I'd love to hear your story. Talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me on Chasing North. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd share the episode, leave a review, or pass it along to someone who'd be inspired. Until next time, keep chasing alignment, trust your path, and remember, your value is non-negotiable.